Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Lady Victoria here this morning with Victoria School of Etiquette, where we offer a solution to your etiquette dilemmas. Listen, yet broadcasting to you live from the great windy city of Chicago. Chi-Town is what we like to call it. We are the best in the Midwest, and we welcome you to our show on this morning. It's Mind Your Manners Monday. And this morning, we want to share with you some of the latest tips and advice by the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. And I give credit this morning to the Washington Post for me taking some of the tips that they have shared in one of their most recent broadcasts. So anyway, you all come on in, tag a neighbor, tag a friend. You all come on in and join me on this morning as we kind of walk this through a little bit. And just like I said, just kind of shore you up a little bit on some of the latest travel tips for the holiday season. Now, we've gotten through Thanksgiving already, and now we're facing Christmas as December is what? Tomorrow, starts on tomorrow. So I just wanted to share with you. I did travel recently and found the experience a little bit interesting. A little bit interesting. It depends on what airline you're traveling on. At least that has been my experience. Depends on what airline you're traveling on. I found my experience to be very different from one airline to the other. Traveling on my favorite airline, I won't really start mentioning any names, but it begins with an S, and I travel with that one most of the time. And they are making sure that they leave their middle seats empty. And traveling on another airline, I was told that that was the case, but when I got there, that was not the case. The plane was full going there and returning, and I also had a layover. One of the flights I had to actually get off the plane and get on another one. I don't like layovers. They allow trouble to me. You have to get off, you have to rush over to your other destination to get there in time and all of that. But I do find that when you're traveling, doing air travel, no matter what airline you're traveling with, that as you board the plane, you do have to, of course, have on your mask. You have to have on your mask in the airport when you go through the checkout and all of that. When you're going through TSA, you have to have your mask on. And the only time they ask you to not really remove your mask, but to pull it down so they can see your full face. But a lot of it is touchless. So you don't have to worry about that. Of course, you still have to take off your shoes. You still have to adhere to all of the typical rules and regulations that we've been following since 9/11. We're still adhering to those things. But the stricter measures now is, of course, being masked. You can wear gloves if you like. Just be mindful that you still have to take everything off and all of that. Um, they are allowing you, of course, you've always still been able to bring your medications and those sort of things. So none of those things have changed. None of those things have changed at all. It is still the same. But the added security, of course, is the mask throughout the time. From the time you enter into the airport until you deplane, you have to have your mask on at all times. If you are traveling and it's a long trip, for me, long would be, 6 hours if you're on a plane. If you're doing international travel, some of the rules are even more stringent with international travel, but just recognize and realize that you're going to be wearing this mask all of that time. And for many of us, it's no different if you happen to wear your mask all day long at work. It is the same thing. So, I think the CDC and the Washington Post are recommending that you bring, of course, extra masks. When you're traveling, you might want to bring disposable masks. If you're wearing a disposable mask, they're saying that the lifespan of that mask is about 2 hours. So if you're traveling and it's going to be longer than that, if you're air travel or if you're traveling on a train to get to your destination and you're going to be on for quite a long time, bring extra masks where you can take that one off after 2 or 3 hours, dispose of it, and put on another one, a fresh one. Now, most of you already know, I'm sure, that when you're doing air travel in the air cabin, the air is constantly circulating throughout the airplane all of the time. So that may be another reason some people would want to change their mask and take it off and put on another fresh one. And I say that make sure that you have a mask that's a K95 mask. You want to make sure that you have as much protection from your mask that you can get out of it. Sometimes, you're not really wearing a face mask, but they say you have to have some kind of face covering. So some people are wearing, scarves around their nose and mouth, or they're wearing like a bandana around their nose and mouth. That's just a covering. It's not protecting you necessarily from anything. And whether you have on a mask or a scarf or whatever, if you have openings, around your mask, if you have openings where air and germs and everything can still get through, then they're saying that perhaps you are not as protected. If you're wearing a KN95 mask that has a filter in it, then that's where you're getting the most protection out of that mask. So a regular face covering or a cloth mask that does not have that filter inside, you're not getting the best coverage, and you're not getting the best protection that you could potentially get from wearing a mask that is fully fitted, that covers the entire nose, underneath the eyes, covering all the way around, covering the entire mouth, and that's looped over the ears, where you don't have a lot of space, roominess for air and germs to get trapped in there. Now, we know that the virus lives a lot on hard surfaces. So when you're wearing gloves, plastic disposable gloves, you probably want to change those out pretty regularly too. Even though that you're wearing them when you're going sometimes from place to place, and let's say you touch a railing and that railing is infected, you have no way of knowing that. But just regularly changing your gloves out. You can say, well, you know what, this gets to be a little costly and a little expensive, but at what price for your health? At what price for your health? So it is just a word of caution and a word of advice. And again, I'm sharing information that I am keeping up to date with for myself, and information that I can share with you, my viewers. So I want to thank everyone that is joining me on this morning. Let me go back over here. For all of you that whatever channel that you're on this morning, whether you're on my fan page, my Facebook page, whether you're on Periscope or YouTube, thank you for being a part of our platform on this morning. And again, please like and share across your various social media platforms so that we can, get this information and share it with as many of those as we possibly can. Also, we just talk about air travel in this instance, but what if you decide to travel another route? I did mention the train. Let's say that you're taking Amtrak to your destination. It's up to the person that's traveling to do your own due diligence about the safety measures that your preferred method of travel is taking. Are they washing down the cabins, every day? Are they washing them down between rides? As one group of people get off and get plane, or leave the train or leave the bus. If you're going on Amtrak, or if you're going on Greyhound and you are traveling, you want to be informed about their safety precautions and about their cleaning methods. What are they doing to clean in between? So if you're having a layover, like I said, I had a layover from one plane to the other, so I got aboard another plane. Well, of course, they didn't wipe down the plane for those that got off, because there were still people on the plane. But you can help yourself by bringing your own wipes, antibacterial wipes. You are allowed to bring those on board on your travel on luggage or in your personal luggage. Ladies, if you have a purse, men, if you are carrying a briefcase, then you have the ability to bring those on. They are not restricting that. When you do board the plane, though, they will give you a little packet. I think I have one right up here. Let me grab it. Yeah. They gave me a little packet, something like this, antibacterial wipes. So you can bring these with you, or you can bring your own Clorox wipes, antibacterial wipes, whatever your preference is. Hand sanitizer always works. It's for your hands. I would not recommend, someone talked about putting hand sanitizer on their face and all of that. Hey, that's your personal preference. I wouldn't do that, but it's good just for your hands. And you know that you want to do that repeatedly. You want to be repetitive about sanitizing. So when you board the plane, they're going to give you one of these. They're going to give you one of these for you to wipe down your seat, your tray, everything that you're going to touch. If you're putting things in the overhead, you want to touch that. So I would bring several of these with me. I would recommend bringing several of these with me, because they give you one, and one is not quite sufficient for you to wipe down your entire seat, your let down tray, If you're sitting by the window, you want to wipe all of that. Even the seat, the back of the seat in front of you, you wipe all of those things down. And again, the overhead bin, if you have some overhead luggage, you want to wipe all of that down, every single thing. And then once you wipe everything down and you are settled in your seat, then you can put gloves on if you don't have them on already. I personally, if I were wearing gloves and then I wiped everything down, then I would dispose of everything and put on a fresh pair of gloves, and then get settled into my seat, into my place. When I'm on the plane, I personally go to the restroom before I board. I don't like using the restroom on the plane. But if you have to go, you have to go. So then if you go, when you go, again, take your wipe with you. Take your wipe with you and wipe down the door before you get into that small space. When you get in there, I would suggest wiping down everything again. I'm sure that they have wipes inside the bathroom and all of that where you can sanitize again before you use the facilities there. But that is just the recommended travel. Again, know the carrier that you are traveling with, know what their safe precautions are and what their cleaning methods are, but be prepared to take care of it yourself. You could also buy disposable toilet seat liners. You can buy those if you search them out at Walgreens or Walmart stores like that. You can buy your own seat liners. Of course, they have them in most public facilities, and I believe on board the airplane they have the running one that runs around every time you flush the toilet. You know, a new covering comes aboard. But you check all of these things out yourself. You can call and ask all of these questions before you travel. You can call customer service, whether it's air travel, whether it's bus, whether it is train. You want to know yourself. Now, according to the article that I read in the Washington Post, I think this article was actually ran in October 27th, I believe it was, that it was ran. They are recommending that the safest way, and the CDC also agrees, the safest way to travel during this holiday season is if you are going to travel by car. So if you don't mind, sometimes a long drive, if you're traveling, I mean, I'm here in Chicago. Let's say that I wanted to go to Denver to visit my son who lives there. That's a long drive. So you have to be mindful of that. But you have a little less interaction when you're driving and you're going to be in your own car, or if you get a rental car. If you get a rental car, most of them do clean it, at least the service that I use. I know that Enterprise is very diligent about, cleaning their cars and what have you. But whatever service you're using, when you get into the vehicle, you probably feel even more comfortable cleaning it again yourself. Again, just wiping everything down, the steering wheel, the seat, everything in the car that you're going to touch, the dashboard, just everything. And then again, wear your gloves. But there's less interaction with other people. You are going to be stopping for food and for gas. So when you go to the gas station, I always recommend wearing your plastic gloves, because how many people have touched the pump? You're getting ready to pump gas into your car and it's already contaminated because hundreds of other people have already touched it. So wear your gloves for that. After you pump the gas and you get back into your car, the last thing you do is dispose of those gloves and then put on a fresh pair. When you are stopping at the various rest stops for food and like that, again, be mindful, be careful. You have to make the choice and the decision yourself as to how safe it is for you. If you're stopping at a 7-Eleven or a lot of those places, the various rest stops, when you're stopping there and you're getting public food, you're getting a hot dog, you're getting a hamburger, you're getting nachos, you're getting whatever you're getting. If you're getting hot food, be very mindful. Some of the rest stops that I've stopped at, some of them are still serving, hot food. It's not necessarily everything is sandwiched up or boxed up. So you're purchasing hot food. Again, be mindful of that. But if you're traveling in your car, you can stock your car with whatever you want. You can have sandwiches in there. You can have, chips and, quick food like that you can eat. You can even have hot food because you can put your food in a thermal jug. So you can bring whatever you want. You can bring soup that's going to stay reasonably warm for a shorter trip. So those are just some of the tips that I am sharing. And like I said, I got this information, latest information from the CDC, their recommendations, and a lot of this information I gleaned from the Washington Post. But if you really want to be the safest of all safety for travel for this holiday season, they're recommending that you not travel if at all possible. If you can stay at home and Zoom with your families, with your loved ones, with your friends. Now, what one of my family members did for Thanksgiving, they did that. They did exactly that. They prepared their dinner. They contacted, family, friends, and relatives and said, "Hey, we're having dinner at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Join us at this time so that you can dine with us or that you can just share in our experience." So, yes, we got on the Zoom. Everyone got to see everyone. You got to see people. I got to see some people that I had not seen in a long time, on the Zoom. And it was a joyous enough occasion. Now, some families are deciding that they're going to share and break it up, that they are going to Zoom because that's the safest way for them to travel during this holiday season. So they are going to Zoom, but they're deciding that, okay, in the beginning, when we first begin our meal, we're going to have appetizers, and we're going to do that, let's say, with the Wilsons in our family. And then we're going to go from our appetizers to our main entree, and we're going to share that with, the Smiths in our family, on our side of the family. So they're deciding that they're going to break it up and have various various parts of their meal. They're going to share that with family members so that they get to see everyone. Um, Personal choice, but on your Zoom, if you have the free version of Zoom, know that you only have 40 minutes, and at 40 minutes, your feed will stop. So you only have 40 minutes. So maybe you do want to break that up and say, hey, with this course, I'm going to share with this family at this time. And then with this course, I'm going to share it with these many families at this time. So that way you don't feel as restricted. You can take the entire 40 minutes. It will take more time out of your day if you're the one that's hosting that Zoom so that you can see all of your family members. Or you can let everyone know, hey, we only have about 40 minutes. So everyone get on, please be on time, and we're going to share whatever portion of our meal. We're going to get through as much as we can, and then you can celebrate that way with everyone. You're not traveling. You don't have to worry about having on a mask. You don't have to worry about wearing gloves. You don't have to worry about sanitation. You don't have to be concerned about any of those things. But you had a chance to share a portion of your holiday season with loved ones in a way that is safe. It doesn't cost any money. If you do have the paid version of Zoom, then of course you're paying that anyway. So anyway, those are just some of the latest tips and advice on air travel during this holiday COVID season. Whether you're traveling for the holiday, and even if it's just business travel, even if it's just travel for pleasure, you want to be mindful that COVID is still a very real and alive thing. And the CDC is reporting that a lot of numbers are surging up, especially, those states that are already listed as a hot state. In some states, are not, but the numbers are still going up. So be aware, be informed, check your numbers for your state. And if you are traveling, look ahead, travel ahead. Some states are requiring that you get a COVID test before you travel. You're going to enter into their state, and they want to know the results of that. So these are all of the things that you have to keep in mind. This is just the world and the stage that we are living in now. So you want to keep these things in mind, and you want to be mindful. You want to be progressive about maintaining your health and your safety and your well-being in this season. Just traveling back and forth to work every day, if you're taking public transportation, all of the same rules apply. Wear your gloves, wear your mask, wear one that that fits well, and that is one that has the filter made into it, and not just a regular cloth mask, which covers you up but doesn't give you as much protection. Listen, this is Lady Victoria this morning. I am your etiquette educator, and I just wanted to share this information and pass it along to you. I thank you for all of you that have joined. Again, please don't be sharing your comments, putting your comments down in the section below. And join us again on tomorrow, as we will be back on. And tomorrow, our subject matter for Tuesday. Tomorrow is Tidbit Tuesday. and we will be talking. I'll be sharing some information about unwanted calls. You know how you get those marketing calls and those telemarketers and those people that's calling you about your car insurance, and you already have car insurance, or you don't even have a car, but they want to about your car insurance and all of those things. So we're going to be sharing some information about that tomorrow on Tidbit Tuesday. Lady Victoria chatted with you this morning. Until the next time, you all have a blessed and safe Monday. But until tomorrow, we'll chat again. This is bye for now.